Welcome back to Hollywood Buzzing, where real stories meet raw truth. Today we're diving into a deeply personal journey that may just change how you view fame, strength, and healing. It's the story of Maureen McCormick, the actress who brought Marcia Brady to life on The Brady Bunch. For years, fans saw her as the golden girl, beautiful, popular, and effortlessly perfect. But behind the scenes, Maureen was navigating something far more complex. Her life, far from the sunshine and laughter of television, was filled with emotional pain, pressure, and a long road to self-acceptance. Maureen's story pulls back the curtain on what it's really like to grow up in the spotlight. Cast as Marcia Brady in her teens, Maureen quickly became America's sweetheart. But the weight of that title came with expectations that were impossible to meet. Everyone wanted her to stay perfect, to look perfect, to act perfect, even when the cameras stopped rolling. That kind of pressure would be overwhelming for anyone, let alone a teenager still figuring out who she was. The more she tried to live up to the image, the more lost she became. Maureen has bravely spoken about how this disconnect between her public persona and private reality led her down a difficult path. Struggling to keep up appearances, she turned to drugs and alcohol as a form of escape. She's admitted that addiction became her way of coping with anxiety, insecurity, and the crushing fear of not being good enough. For years, she battled those demons in silence, like so many others in Hollywood. But what makes Maureen's journey so important isn't just what she endured, it's what she chose to share. Her decision to talk openly about her struggles has helped break down stigma and inspired countless others to speak up and seek help. She also opened up about her experience with bulimia, shedding light on the destructive impact of body image pressures in the entertainment industry. Her honesty around mental health, eating disorders, and addiction shows just how toxic the demand for perfection can be, especially for young women in the spotlight. Yet, through it all, Maureen's story is one of resilience and hope. After hitting some of the darkest moments in her life, she chose recovery. She sought support, faced her pain, and began rebuilding her sense of self. Her memoir, Here's the Story, Surviving Marcia Brady and Finding My True Voice, is a raw and unfiltered look at that journey, from Hollywood fame to personal redemption. Today, Maureen uses her platform not just to reflect on her past, but to empower others. As a speaker and mental health advocate, she shares her story to remind people they're not alone and that healing is possible. Her transformation from a struggling child star to a grounded, self-aware woman is proof that life doesn't end when you fall. It begins when you choose to get back up. And this is where the title of today's story comes in. Maureen McCormick shows it all. You'll want to be alone. Not because her story is sad, but because it makes you feel. It urges you to reflect. Sometimes a story hits you so deeply that you need space just to breathe and think. Being alone isn't always about isolation. Sometimes, it's about creating a quiet place for healing, for introspection, for reconnecting with your own truth. In a world full of noise and perfection filters, Maureen's vulnerability is a breath of fresh air. She teaches us that it's okay to not be okay, and that taking care of our mental and emotional well-being should never come with shame. Her story is a reminder that strength isn't about smiling through the pain. It's about being brave enough to admit it's there. So what can we learn from Maureen? That recovery is real. That authenticity connects us. That self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. And most importantly, that no matter how far you've fallen, there is always a way forward. If Maureen's journey resonates with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more real stories that matter. And if you've ever needed that moment alone to find yourself again, feel free to share your experience in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Thanks for being here. And remember, it's okay to pause, to reflect, and to be kind to yourself. Sometimes, that quiet moment is the first step towards something beautiful.